everyone. Today I will be talking about how milk lipids follow the evolution of mammals and the changes in their bodies that follow. I will also discuss the original peer-reviewed article and the phys.org article that featured the study. The main emphasis of both the general and peer-reviewed article is that among mammals such as bovids, pigs, and humans, and their closely related primates, the composition of their breast milk differs. Breast milk is an integral part of mammalian organisms when they are newborns, since it is the only source of nutrients that support growth and development during this stage of life. Because of this, the composition is able to adjust to the specific needs of the developing organism based on factors such as their habitat, physiology, and reproductive strategy. However, nutritional needs of a newborn also influence milk composition. The study looked into the main lipids found in milk, which all have vastly different levels of each component among the mammalian species. The main hypothesis for this experiment was that there will be species-specific differences in milk lipidome composition, and that humans will have their own exclusive differences to only that species. In the peer-reviewed article, it describes that compositions will also be different among pigs. Some of the examples of how milk composition would differ were seen with the length of time mammalian species breastfed. Species that accompany their offspring for long periods of time will produce more diluted milk to spread out the nutrients, while those with shorter time periods with their offspring will produce denser milk to give them as many nutrients as possible. Humans, some primates, and bovine would belong to the former group. Other examples that contribute to differences range from the baby sex to the maternal diet. What makes this finding so interesting is that milk composition in humans is evolving differently than milk composition in primates, which denotes that breast milk is evolving to accommodate to a changing body and brain. Co-evolution also plays a role, as there is a consistent pattern of how breast milk concentration manifests for each species. Milk composition can be altered based on the newborn's needs, but it can also have a different base composition due to the mother's lifestyle and body, which is seen among all 7 species. The most fascinating point of the general article, however, is that this seen in the study and in the article shows interest in having another experiment that focuses on how the brain and its nervous system changes with milk composition. To execute the study, researchers collected milk samples from Russia and China citizens, cows, goats, pigs, rhesus monkeys, and crab-eating monkeys. Milk was sampled at the end of breastfeeding or milking events and placed into a 10 milliliter plastic container to be stored in a short-term freezer and a long-term freezer. The lipids were then extracted from the milk and analyzed with mass spectrometry. After collecting the data, the lipid intensity between species was calculated with Euclidean distance between certain vectors containing intensities of 472 lipids, and then inputted into the statistical program R. The media portrayal of the original article was fairly accurate of the main points, though it did put more emphasis on the brain than what the peer-reviewed article originally presented. The media also did not specify the brain's importance in how it was involved in lactation and why researchers came to this conclusion rather than generalizing it with just the reasoning of the needs of the body changing constantly. In our actual article, it discusses that the high abundance of TAGs being apparent in human ancestors as far as 30 million years ago is why there are reports of fatty acid chains accumulating in the human brain in the last trimester of pregnancy and after birth, due to these TAGs, which is a fatty component making up 98% of milk fat on average. This TAG then has its derivative omega-3 fat, DHA, being transported through the blood-brain barrier. The demand for fatty acids by the newborn is what influences brain development and evolution for the human offspring. The media also added that omega-3 and omega-6 are seen in food and play an important role in the nervous system, pushing the same narrative that this article has more extensive research on the brain, even though the nervous system isn't even mentioned in the article. Because of the findings being rather new and non-invasive from what was written in the methods, the article stating it had confirmed consent from the participants and was ethically approved by the Institutional Review Board of the Skolkovo Institute of Science and Technology, it did not spark any controversy. In conclusion, the study of lipid composition was an interesting and unique look in showing how humans have diverged from the human-monkey lineage and how evolution may still be happening today, and the co-evolution aspect that also plays with pigs.